Well, the bloodbath over at Discovery Warner does continue on. We're seeing a ton of cancellations, and you're seeing some networks are being changed, reshuffled. Some we don't even know what they're going to do. Perfect example: TBS and TNT. What is going to happen? What is their future now that scripted shows are being canceled? Something else has been canceled, and it goes into the awards territory. So let me pour you something a little stiff right now, and say farewell to the SAG Awards on TBS and TNT. One thing these days, the award ceremonies have mean nothing when it comes to the programming, the movies, the TV series, things that are being put out these days, because a lot of the stuff that are winning these awards are just equity, inclusion, woke garbage. These are things that are just not really successful. And the true art of filmmaking and television show writings have been just put away, that they've just been pushed aside. I mean, we had a video out talking about that they need to stop making blockbusters and get back into filmmaking. And that's what Francis Ford Coppola said. I mean, factory filmmaking is what's going on right now. It's the same thing. Go look at most of the blockbusters that are out to now. Look at this, most of the scenes. It's the same scenes thrown together, just with different actors, or the scenery might be different, but and I said this before, it's just same car crashes, the same explosions, the same endings. I mean, they're all just factory filmmaking. We were at a time when we made art with our filmmaking. Go back to Apocalypse Now, 2001: A Space Odyssey on there. Clockwork Orange. I mean, I can go down through a list of films. The Third Man. Many films that have been put out there that are just phenomenal films, but they're not talked about as much as these would. They don't win the awards that they should. One of the award ceremonies out there that has plagued us of recent is the Screen Actors Guild Awards. And basically, it hasn't been itself for for a quite long time, because generally the SAG union is not the same SAG union that was when it first started on there, like a lot of other unions. Not saying union is a bad thing. Some unions are very helpful. I have been in unions, and most of the unions that I've been in have not been helpful at all. And this is coming off of Variety. SAG Awards will no longer air on TBS and TNT after 25 years. And we're going to read a little bit into this. Warner Brothers Discovery, the arm formerly known as Turner, is parting ways with the SAG Awards after 25 years. TNT has run the SAG Awards since 1998, including this year when the Screen Actors Guild returned to a live in-person event and moved to Santa Monica's Barker Hangar after being at the Los Angeles Shrine Auditorium and Expo since 97. NBC aired the first three of the SAG Awards, which launched in 1995. And TNT took over in 1998, and then TBS made a simulcast in 2007. SAG Awards is engaged in discussions with Warner, Discovery, as well as other networks and streamings regarding the broadcast rights to the show. SAG-AFTRA has posted in a statement, while TNT Network has advised us they do not expect to conclude a new licensing agreement with the SAG Awards prior to the expiration of the exclusion negotiating window. We are exploring multiple other options. Engaging in negotiations for the broadcast of the show is not unusual and has occurred several times over the history of the SAG Awards. This is no different. These discussions will continue as they normally are done and will not be concluded in the public eye. As such, we have no further comment at this time, the Guild added. This comes as the new Warner Brothers Discovery conglomerate continues to determine the direction of its properties, including linear networks like TBS and TNT. Last week, Variety exclusively reported that the TNet, they're calling it the TNets, are pausing their scripted development as Warner Brothers Discovery under David Zaslav aims to find $3 billion in cost savings across the companies in post-merger era. As reported last week, Warner Brothers Discovery leadership is currently evaluating the strategy for all the called TNets, including True TV, which are all run by Brett Weiss, will have a better idea of the role each will play within the new regime moving forward. This year's 2-hour SAG Awards, which aired February 27th, averaged to 1.8 million total viewers on TBS and TNT. That was up from the pre-taped COVID-impacted 1-hour special in 2021, which attracted less than 1 million viewers on the simulcast. Yeah, these simulcasts were garbage. The SAG Awards stand apart from other coup fests for several reasons, including that they were the only honor actors and performances. There is a stunt assembly category and assembly awards for film and television. It boasts the largest voting body of awards seasons with around 124,000 SAG members casting ballots. The SAG Afro Life Achievement Awards, which predates the SAG Awards by several decades, was given this year to Helen Mirren. The SAG Awards have traditionally gone without a host until 2018, when Kristen Bell took the gig. Megan Mulligan hosted in 2019, and then the show 2020 went on without a host and hasn't been since then. Coincidentally, this year also marked the end of the run for the SAG Awards executive producer Kathy Connell, who helped launch the awards show 28 years ago and have been in the show ever since. She has confirmed to Variety earlier this year that the 2022 ceremony will be her last. John Brockett, who executive producer this year's SAG, where Connolly is her successor. Well, like I said, these award ceremonies are just pure garbage. They don't really get into the real people that are behind the scenes, the actors, the actresses, the ones that really get into the work of acting, behind the scenes work. They said, oh, we gave us stunt persons on there. Stunt people are very important as well. I mean, stunts are not major like it used to be back when I was younger, but still, they are still needed in this business because there are certain things certain actors cannot do, and you need a stunt person in this. But of course, stunt people get injured left and right, and that happens to be a part of the job. But still, they should have more praise. The cameramen should have more praise. People who are on the grips, the lighting, the people who actually sew the costumes, they should have more applause for them because they work hard to get these out. The editors, you hear one main editor, but there are multiple editors, people who do certain scenes and techniques and stuff like that are out there. They're not applauded as much. There are so many people that go into filmmaking, and you see the credits. You see all the credits, and I understand you can't applaud everybody, but there are some important ones that should be shown constantly. And the thing about it is, there are many films that are left out. Many upon many films that are they're not praised. Whether they're from overseas or locally, or they're small independent film that might have hit a streaming site or a YouTube or something on there, but they've gotten the viewership. They've seen people come day in, day out to watch that type of movie or programming that has been put out to the masses. And, you know, one of the major problems, besides the MPAA, the Academy of Motion Pictures, you know, and I said these organizations need to go. SAG is another one that needs to go as well. Should they be replaced? Yeah, I think there should be a final replacement, because most of these organizations don't do well for their members. Because for someone to sit there and say, well, we're going to tell you who you can and cannot hire, that alone, the unions should have jumped right there and says, no, you cannot do that. You cannot do that to our members. We have people who have been experienced. They all should be given, whether you're experienced or not experienced, every one of them should be given a try, no matter what color skin they are, where they're from, what sexuality. Everybody should get the point. If they want to go up for it, let them give the chance. You've seen many movies in the past where you, for example, Tootsie and a couple of Chorus Line and all that. See, where they show people auditioning in some of these films and Broadway shows, you know, for these shows and movies on there, and what goes into them. And there's a lot that goes into it. It's never easy to hire somebody for a particular role. But now you have a situation where a piece of paper is thrown down on your counter and it says, well, you have to have X amount of this minority, X amount of this sexuality, X amount of this handicap. No, that violates law. That violates the law for hiring, for employment. You cannot do that. I always hire, and I've always been hired for my experience. If I ever get a notion that a company hired me because I was Spanish, I quit that job immediately. Because that's not what I'm there for. I'm not there for being a token. And that's what it is. You're being a token character, actor, director, writer. And this is why, exactly what I said, and I will say it one more time. If you want to make your own show, animation, TV series, movie, do it yourself. Get it crowdfunded and put it out yourself. You don't need to make millions upon millions of dollars, but you can make a tidy profit by selling it your own self. And it's like Orson Welles said in one of the videos I put out, is that we don't own our own art here in the US. It's owned by the studios. The only way you're going to own it is if you fund it yourself.